What drives you? What inspires you? Let's ignite your why. Welcome back to Ignite Your Why podcast. I'm your host, Austin T. Gullett, and we're here to have genuine conversations with authentic people to help amplify their voice and figure out what ignites their why. Today, we get to kick off season 6, and man, I am so happy to be back. I'm so happy to give you guys new content with new guests, and man, it just feels good. So get ready for a great season, and I'm super excited for today's guest. He was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. He is a singer-songwriter. So let's give a warm welcome to Navy Woods, everyone. Navy, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's a good day. Good Friday, I would say.
Thank God it's Friday. This has been such a long week.
Yeah,
Man,
it actually is. It
it's
definitely is.
been a week for me, so I can only imagine what it's been like for you. So I'm super excited just to get this thing going, man. So, what is your story?
Oh, so like you said, I've been born and raised in Cincinnati. Um, I would say, I mean, I went back and forth from, I guess, here in Dayton, Ohio. My sister was born there, so we spent a lot of time being there and here. And also most of my family is from there too. So I pretty much, was just, in my household, my mom and my sister them were my main people. And my grandma and stuff like that, my aunt. So, I don't know. From childhood, I was always just an artistic type of kid. I definitely like the beginning, I always thought I wanted to be like a fashion designer for real, but I'm colorblind thanks to my grandpa. So, um, he gave me his color blindness, and I couldn't really figure out how to really adapt to wanting to style people and make clothes being so colorblind. Like I would put the wrong things together. So I'm like, okay, maybe I could try something else. And then I kind of got, I don't know, I got aware that I could kind of sing, I guess, a little bit. So I started to tap in that a little bit. And yeah, that started off very young, just, being in school, doing things, trying to figure out what I like doing, and mainly acting and singing was like my big two things that I really was trying to go for back in that time frame.
I think that's
So
interesting. Like, I never knew you were colorblind, so that is something I just learned today.
yeah, extreme, like it's crazy. I think the older I get, I mean, you know, certain colors gotten easier to kind of recognize a little bit. Like, oh, okay, I'm familiar with it, but it's still, I realize it's something I can never really get over until, I mean, I've heard that they came out with some glasses that can help you. I just got glasses to help my regular vision, so I'm like, how long it's gonna take for me to get those? So yeah, we gonna see. But yeah, I've been colorblind forever. It's a thing. So yeah.
That's insane. I could not even I couldn't even
Yeah.
imagine.
I'm
It
always on
just
the phone like, hey, or FaceTime and my friends like, do this match? Like, do this go together? So it's definitely a struggle. People like, oh my God, that's so cool. I'm like, I don't really know if it's cool, but it's something for
so
sure.
I feel like the thing in Cincinnati is just like, where did you go to school? I need to know because it's a thing in Cincinnati.
It is. I went to Hughes. I'm a
Okay.
big red guy, I guess. Yeah, so I went there. And then I went to a few different like elementary, middle schools that we don't have to really name. Most of it, like well, before I was definitely I went to Taft Elementary, but then I went to a like private school. It was a college preparatory type of private school. So I ended up going there for like 4 years, and that's where it was at for me and my main little girlfriend I had for all those years. And she was pushing me to do all this like writing stuff. And, that's kind of where I ended up, how I learned that I was going to be a good writer and stuff like that. So that school had a lot to do with me because I wrote plays in that school and everything. So yeah, I would say school was a good part of why I wanted to do what I like doing and love to do.
So speaking of your passion, it's obviously music. um,
Yeah.
so my question for you is just like, what is it that truly inspires you? But more importantly, what is it that ignites your why?
I say what truly inspires me is the way of me growing up, I guess. Like growing up, really not having too much. I didn't really, I wasn't one of those fortunate kids that I had around me a lot. I was just pretty much, yeah, it was more so that was the inspiration, knowing I wanted more for my life. And when I decided to have kids or something, and for my nieces and nephews, I'm always like, I want to, just better their lives, my mom. And so that's my real inspiration on why I want to do what I do. And then it's just life in general, life and life as it goes on is what inspires me to keep going on as well. Because it's like, as much as I got time to keep being here, and the things that I've gone through and seen and witnessed, and the things that I know, I just use all that and just take it in and just try to write stories from it. And sometimes it's a melody and sometimes it's just a story. So I think that's what really inspires me the most is really just, yeah, my eyes and things that I pretty much see. Because a lot of things that I write about, a lot of things really don't be something I personally went through, but
Hmm.
it's like like sometimes it's my mom's story, or sometimes it's my sister or my friend. So, I'm just pretty much I just take life for what I see and just just go from there, and that's what really inspires that.
I think music is just like a beautiful thing. Because when you think
It's
about it, it's therapeutic. It tells a story, especially if you're good at it. If you
right.
if you're a good like art like a songwriter, you
Hmm.
tell that story and you can kind of use that vision. And I think for me, like I would always write like poems when I was younger,
Yeah.
kind of a way of being like therapeutic for me, just to express my feelings in a way that I didn't necessarily know how to do.
Right.
So where does like all of your music inspiration come from? I've like listened to some of your music and it's pretty good. I just need
Thank
to know like where does the inspiration for your songs come from? I know you said you write about things that you see, but deep down, like in the core, like where does that come from?
well, to be honest, I guess like musically, I would say I've had a lot of different experiences as, me being young and just like I said, I started, I would say, really trying to become a writer and songwriter probably when I was like 17, 18 maybe. And it was mainly like just like having different type of friendships and relations. Well, I never had a relationship, but I would say just like the friendships that I've had and different bonds and different things. I was just always wanting to escape and put on my headphones and listen to some type of music and just kind of write what I'm feeling like, or what this would make me feel like if I was in this situation, or things like that. That's pretty much musically. And then I listen to different stories and music, and I've always been very like heavy into like the pop 80s era. Like I love 80s music. That's one of my favorite genre other than R&B or something. So I just listened to a lot of stories and listened to a lot of things, watched a lot of movies. So some of the things is like I always dreamt of writing a soundtrack for a big movie. So sometimes I will watch a movie and it's like, I can write a song about this movie or scene or whatever, and things like that. Or, like I said, me going through things, just being the kid that I was who went through a lot of stuff, it's just, I would say that helps you become a musician. Just knowing how to take what you see and what you really got a passion for will come together and make something good. It just happens that way when you know how to write and know how to. And the music that I even have now, I would just say is that's just the start of it. I feel like I just wanted to give people an example of something that sounds good and that's kind of written, to a extent of the same. So I just wanted, to give people a taste. But I feel like the future, you would get to know more of what it really means to be me.
Hey, I give musicians a ton of credit. Like, I am not musically inclined whatsoever. But
Yeah,
I'm really good at writing. Like, I'm good with my words. So like I
yeah,
get that aspect of things,
right.
but just like creating, do you create your beats as well? Like, or
I
are you
started
just
off that
solely?
way. I started off creating my beats. It's how I learned really what got me into writing more too was because I was creating my beats. I was really Chloe Bailey out here, like for real. I'm sitting here making the beats all on my phone and stuff. Like most of my early music that I have, I created all those beats and I would write and I would record it all at one, just creating everything. But I got a little lazier over time, and then honestly it was like I never really could afford the real software to make like real production beats. The beats I was
Mhm.
making just was like act beats, nothing really sounding like too much of anything. So yeah, I just kind of was like, well, until I can afford to really get the software I need, I'ma just, use it how everybody else do it. So I've been lucky enough to really just find things that I can relate to and connect with so far. And yeah, but I don't really do too much of the creating beats anymore.
I was
I'm one
about
of
to
those
say because it's
producers.
very time consuming. I feel
It
like
is. It
very time
really, it
consuming.
really is. It was fun though. It's fun to do. Like when you got the time and everything. I work a lot right now, so I don't get the same time. But yeah, it's definitely fun. I like it.
Yeah,
I could
not
do it
me.
again.
I couldn't do it. And I think it's crazy because like people have these passions and they want to do things, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cost to do stuff is just
It is
outrageous.
crazy. It's
Especially
studio
like when
time
you're like,
alone.
I want to get here, I want to get up here, I want to get to
Yeah,
this high
yeah,
level, but it's like this costs $1,000 and I'm
yeah.
broke as fuck right now. Like I
Right,
can't
right,
afford
right,
that.
right, right.
The struggle is
Yeah,
real. Like
it is. It is. And I be trying to tell people like, cause they're like, well, why you haven't put out another EP or why you haven't had another? I'm like, look, that no pressure video was more than $1,200 alone. Like that was, and that just that. Like I spent $1,200 on a video.
my
So
thing is
imagine far
you
more.
want more stuff, you want more stuff, like support my music.
And
And I
that's
think
what I
that's the
do.
thing. Support is I want to ask you this because I want to know. Do you feel like you get more support from like essentially strangers, that people that don't really know you, than the people that actually do know you?
I say it's have and have because at the end of the day, I get it. Like my friends will play my music. They usually play it when I'm around. I get it. They'll show my videos here and stuff. They support it. Yeah, they definitely support me. They come to my shows and stuff like that. Now I know that they're not just sitting around listening to my EP, all the time or whatever. I don't even think my mom played it since I probably sent it to her. But that's just how people are when they're used to you. They hear you making the music all the time. They hear you,
Right.
So it's like I get it because even my friends that made me, I listen to it. It's something that I actually really, I just really like the song, so I do keep it in my rotation. But I feel like it's unfair, I guess, to expect them to, I guess, treat you how the strangers would because they're not seeing you make the stuff all the time. They don't, it's easier to kind of support. And in the beginning and even in the middle, I didn't get that for a long time. Like, why my friend, I used to send them rants and y'all don't support, y'all don't do this and nothing, y'all, and so I'm like, at the end of the day, I get it. So what I want you to do, ooh, what I want, got too passionate there. What I want you to do is to talk about me in the rooms that you enter. Let it
Mhm.
be known that you are, so it's about what you do in the background too. Because it's like, okay, playing my songs and stuff, all that do matter. But it's more so, speak of me, put me in rooms that I'm not in, just, what you can do. So, so we all, because at the end of the day, once I make it, you're going to want to be a part of that. So I can't get nowhere if I don't got the support. So I feel like it's very
Facts.
beneficial for your friends, for the people you don't know, anybody to definitely just support you. That's
I think
it.
it's interesting how you put it that way because I never really thought of it in that sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like how
Yeah,
you're like, they're here, like obviously friends support in a different way.
yeah.
But it's just also like I've noticed like a trend with people where it's like like you said, it's easier for people who don't really know you, who are getting the product to kind of
Hmm.
support more than people who like are seeing the everydays ins and outs. Like I really never thought of it that way.
Yeah, because that's how I start looking at it with certain people that I was listening. Like I would meet people through just making music, and I become friends with some of them. I got friends with that make music, and I don't really listen to it all the time. Being honest, I listen to some of the songs that but I don't listen to it all the time. But me, I'm always sharing their stuff, regardless if I sit there and listen to the whole project or not. You gonna see I'm sharing your stuff all the time, anytime, without you even asking. That's what I'm like. That's how I support. I
I think
put
that's
you
the
in the
biggest thing though, is like
yeah.
visibility goes a long way.
It does. It does.
Because
You gotta.
because
You
if you're
gotta.
visible, you're hitting different target like, not target audiences, but you're hitting different audiences just by, say, Susie over here in the corner shares your post, and then Johnny over
Mhm.
here shares it as well.
Yeah.
They have 2 different followings, so
Right.
you're
Right. Right.
hitting
Right.
different people, and that's growth, though. That's just how you grow.
It
Obviously,
is.
sharing I feel like sharing goes just as long as plays and streams.
It does. It does. That's what I tell, and that's what I was more so telling my friends. Like, just share my stuff. Even when I make a reel, I'm like, just share that as well because it all goes into. I'm only doing all this because of the artist that I am. Like, you gotta have, everything you
Yep.
do needs to have visibility, like you said. So, regardless of, you just need to do your part and make sure you just supporting your friends. Like that's for free. Like, it doesn't cost. You post things on the internet all day. You're on social media all day.
Preach it. Preach.
You should, and you should feel good about it. Thank God most of my friends, especially my closest ones, are pretty much, they're usually supportive that way. But yeah, I feel like everybody can do better. And that's what we hope to get to.
For real. And it's just
Because
crazy because the algorithm on these damn social media apps are so hard to fucking figure out. Like,
yeah, yeah, they
you
are.
just gotta, and you just have to be consistent. I think that's the hardest thing for me sometimes, is just being
Yeah.
consistent because life does take over
Your
and
life be
you
life,
just,
and as soon as you start, like really do find your consistent thing, something try to throw you off, and
yep,
it
some
sometimes
shit
it
hits the
does.
fan. And it's
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah,
what's
I'm
next?
like,
What's next?
yeah, I'm like, damn it, I was just getting, I was just booking all these things and this and that, and now shit, my card is or this, like, it's just always something. So I'm like,
Always.
yeah, I try to find ways to keep it going though. Like that's why if something's like right now this year, I would say I haven't recorded a lot of music, or like I haven't recorded any music for me. I've done features and stuff this year. I didn't record it. I know I got one that's on a new project. An artist named Cleo Court actually. She just dropped her, or she's about to, and I'm on that. So it's like I've done a lot of features, but I haven't done a lot of recording my own stuff. So while now I've been trying to just amp up my social media stuff, like making more TikToks and reels, those things I didn't really do a lot. So I'm like, well, let me do that more since I haven't really recorded music. I
Hmm.
gotta, so I'm just trying to, whatever is slow at the moment, I try to amp up. When I ain't doing the TikTok and reels, and then I'm recording music and I'm trying to put that out. So it's like, because these days I see the industry wants you to do it all. Like they don't build you up no more. They like, oh, because it's like this is what you wanted. Everybody got it in
Hmm.
their hand now. We can do whatever we want to do pretty much. So it's like you got to come with the full package these days before anybody's signing you up to do anything. So
I can't talk. It can be stressful, man. Like
it can. You got to be your own
it's
team.
it's facts. It's just time consuming, and especially in the world we live in, you still have to find ways to survive. Because if you're
Right.
like you gotta be able to pay bills. Because if you aren't making money off of this shit and you're just
Yeah.
trying to push it out, like it's
Right. Right.
hard. It's exhausting.
It
So I
is.
definitely get it.
It could be discouraging and everything. So you just gotta that's why they use the word passion, because when you're passionate about it, none of that really matters. You keep going.
Mhm.
That's something that I work on, because sometimes I used to question my passion. I'm like, damn, do I really want to do this for real? Because I see people out on the street singing and doing what they got to do to try to make it as an artist, and I feel like I'm not doing anything. And, I even had that conversation with my best friend. Like, he's like, I feel like you should be noticed by now and your music is so good. And da, da, da. But I'm like, well, what have I been really doing? I got to take accountability for me as an artist as well. Like, I know that I could step up my game. I know I could be doing, different things at the end of the day, just because I might feel and my friends might feel because they're a part of this process. They know, but there's so many people in the world and they don't know. So it's like I have to, like I said, this day and age is very social media and all of these things. You gotta jump in the rope and literally just jump, 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 keep going, because that's the way
I feel it.
it is.
I think one thing that just stood out to me is like I feel like if you don't question your passion at some point in time, is it really your passion? Because I feel
Right.
like no matter what you do, like you're always gonna get in that point. Maybe you don't, and maybe you're lucky, but like I've been to that point where it's just like, man, this is exhausting. Like, is this really what I want to do? But then it's just
Mhm.
you have to really hone in on like, is this my why? Is this what I want to do? And that
Right.
why and that passion can change. That's the thing is in this moment, this is my why, this is my passion. But over time, like that can evolve, that can change, it
Yeah,
can
yeah.
grow. So it's just
That's
interesting
so
to see
true.
how people look at life. So we kind of talked about the stress that comes with being like a musician and just like a content creator in general. But
Mhm.
my question for you is just how have you been taking care of yourself mentally?
Oh, to be honest, um, well, I smoke weed. Can I say that? But to be honest, I think music is like that is my scapegoat when I have a bad day and getting a haircut. So I go to the barber on bad days sometimes too. And I just turn on, like, my favorite artist is Brandy, so I listen to a lot of her music when I'm having, like, a little down day or something, because she gets me just distracted, her voice and things. So when I listen to her, I start to get all into the song and the music and me
Mhm.
wanting to sing it and all those things. So I'm like, okay, yeah. I'll forget what I'm mad about or why, my mental health. So those things I feel like is what keeps me, and then just being around my family and my friends and stuff. I live with one of my best friends, so we try to keep each other, on the. We try to talk to each other. As soon as we feel like something, we in a funk a little bit. Nope, she'll get me up. Let's go drive somewhere. Or let's go, and then she got a daughter, so her daughter's always keeping me all like, energetic. I have plenty of nieces and nephews too, so anytime I just feel like I'm getting into a funk or something, I come around them. And so I make sure, and that's one thing, I'm really not a person. My mom always says for you to be, you don't have, been a sick kid, Crohn's disease and everything. So me going through all of that, I've never been a person that's sat in like a space too long,
Mhm.
and I just haven't. I just never really knew how, I guess, because of my life was always like I never really could just sit and just. But I felt like that's just my personality. I think I'm too nonchalant too. So a lot of things just used to just, okay, what's next? Like I'm like, all right, what's and stuff just happens so much. I'm just like, what's next? Like I just so I don't know. I just things that my mom's just like, you always seem to just take things. So I wish I could do the same. Like you just kept, you just keep going. And that's just really what my life is, what life is about. Honestly, for me, is to just keep going. Like, it's, of course, I'm human, so I have days where I'm just like,
Right.
like, I do
It's
not.
like I get you though. It's kind of I when you're talking, I'm just thinking of Finding Nemo. With Dory, just keep
Yeah.
swimming, just keep
That's
swimming.
and that is literally one of the I need that shirt because I feel that way, honestly. I do. My whole life I literally everybody used to like you I remember my car got stolen a couple years ago and my best friend I called him and he came pick me up. He was like, you're not crying or anything. Like you just standing there like you're like you waiting on an Uber. And I'm like, well, it happened. Like it actually shocked me, but I'm like, that's just how I am. Me is like, okay, what's the solution? What can I do? Like I'm more so like, what can I, so I just try to
I
make sure I'm
see,
like that.
I'm over dramatic as hell. I would
All
be
people
like
are, I'm telling
I
you.
would be like, "What the fuck? My life is
Yeah,
over." Like, this is like
yeah. I'm trying to tell you that. But see, most of my friends are that way. So you have to have balance. I'm a Libra, so I believe in balance. And most of my friends are pretty much like that. Like, I'm like, okay, I watch Kim Kardashian say this too, and she's a Libra, so it made perfect sense. Like she's like, okay, what's we gonna do? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, I can relate. I'm more so like, okay, let's calm down. Da, 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 da. Let's figure this out. And I'm animated already in my personality when I'm really like, in that space. So I already got a personality that's already just a goofball. So I'm like, I maybe when it's in a serious situation, I'm just too kind of like I don't even know how to act. Like I'm like, okay, I don't know. It's just weird, but
I wish
yeah.
I eventually get to that point where I'm logical and I'm like, "Okay, what's next?" But I gotta have my little freak out moment.
Yeah, I feel like most humans definitely are that way. I think I'm a little weird though. Like I'd say people they call
Don't
me
say you're not weird, you're unique. You're unique. It's
unique.
it's
Beyonce say unique.
it's unique. It's unique.
It's
I will
what
say
you
that.
are. Yeah,
So, my question for you though, you mentioned Crohn's disease growing up. Do you
yeah.
feel like that plays a big role into the way you are now? Just because, like, I can't even imagine what that had to be like growing up. For people
Yeah.
that don't know what it is, could you kind of give people a little bit of insight of what it is and how it impacted you growing up and everything?
So yeah, Crohn's disease is a disease that attacks your GI, which is the gastric. I always say this wrong, but your gastric system. Okay. So it's more like inflammation on your lower bowel, like your smaller intestines, to be more specific. Um, so in my case, yeah, I had a lot of inflammation in my intestine. So what because I remember seeing the pictures when they did the little scope and everything, and it was like it looked like sugared up bacon once it's cooked. So nothing was passing through. Like I was very small. I could never intake my food all the way. I mean, I'm telling you, like one like how you get two pieces of a bagel. I can barely finish. Like I could finish the one half. That was it, and that was all the time. Like, I could, to the point I was. It was just I was sick all the time. Um, so I ended up getting like surgery, which would remove all of that, and it's been better now. I would say the pain back then was very excruciating and I never want to go back. But yeah, I think it's different for different people. I've heard different cases on it. That was just my experience on it. It was definitely something they caught. Luckily, because I had a family member that already had it, he was already older with it. So my mom suggested that it could be that because they were doing all types of tests. We didn't know at
Mhm.
first. I was like 7, 8, so they finally diagnosed me around 8 or 9, and what it was. And yeah, like I said, it could be all types of different cases. I've heard people dying from it because it could attack your body so much. It does attack your immune system. You can, my eyes and stuff like that. So, you just gotta catch it while you can. There's really no cure for it right now, but they do have a lot of medication right now, like how I've been. There's not even it's at a mile under the mile. Like they really don't even see the disease right now, which is great. So, hopefully we can keep it that way, and that's the plan. And as your ending question about it, I guess I would say it has made me probably why I am so nonchalant to a lot of things. I know when I was younger, I used to think I was gonna, die from it, and I was very much, not sure how, from things I was told, I was just kind of always scared. Like,
Yeah.
I was very underweight for a long time. I just, yeah, I was in and out the hospital my whole 16th year, I was in the hospital until I was 17.
Jeez.
So yeah, I didn't really, that's why I said I really don't remember too much of it, but I do remember making a lot of nurse friends because I was me. I was, I was up making friends. I literally have one of them on Facebook, and she was my nurse back then, and I end up, I'm a phlebotomist during the day, so I ended up working at one of the hospitals with her, and she, was proud to see me and stuff. So, yeah, I would say it probably shaped me to be. That's why I am very silly, I think, and just goofy. I think I turn a lot of the pain and a lot of the things that I went through just more so you can't you I turn anything into a joke, so I think everything's funny. So yeah, I don't know. I think it has made me who I am. And
Yeah.
some things are good, some things are bad, but
You
yeah,
got to find the light in every situation. And I think
and
that's the
that's what
thing
I'm big on.
is and I know what you feel like, not like because I had that disease, but I know what it's like to be in the hospital all the time as a kid.
Right.
I had epilepsy as a child, so I had visits to Children's Hospital like every other month.
Mhm.
So getting blood work done, getting
Yeah.
EEGs, and just so many things. And just being in the hospital is not fun. But I
It's
will
not.
say, as a kid, the nurses are so like nice and so bubbly. So it kind of it kind of makes the
Yeah. They're like,
experience a little bit
"Ah."
better.
Yeah,
I I vividly remember one time I was in the hospital and they brought the zoo to the children's hospital. So we got to
Oh, that's
pet like
cool.
a porcupine and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, this is kind of dope.
That is dope. I like that. I spent the night at the zoo once when they did stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. I had two nurses of mine knew that I was like real Beyonce fans back then, and both of them bought me. This when the Four album came out, and like he bought me the deluxe, and my nurse she bought me the regular version. Like they used to compete with each other. It was funny. Like yeah. So
Have you
yeah,
gone to her tour this year? Are you going?
yes, I went. Me and my sister went to the Louisville one. And we both said we wanted to go again. So I'm trying to see how real she is because she'll get left. I'm going to see Beyonce.
I'm weak.
I got a couple more concerts of other people that I want to see, but I definitely want to see her again because that was like inspiration. Like that tour was. I'm still
Speechless.
tripping. Yeah, like I literally was like, wow. So I want to get closer. This time that one was just, but yeah, I
I
like
feel
her.
you. No, I just wanted to say thank you, man. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to hop on the podcast. Finally, I know we've been
Right,
trying
right.
for quite some
Thank
time.
you.
But if anyone wants to continue having a conversation with you about anything that we talked about today, what would be the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Navy Woods, Instagram, Navy Woods, TikTok, I believe, or no, official Navy Woods on there. Twitter, I believe is Navy Woods. Yeah, I'm pretty much just sprinkled everywhere. So if you just type in Navy Woods, matter of fact, I got like a link tree, so you can just type in Navy Woods on there as well. I mean, yeah, pretty much Navy Woods. Just Navy. and all the
So,
music is Navy Wood.
yeah, I was like, where can people find your music? What platforms are you on?
Everything: YouTube, iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, Navy Wood.
All right, I got you. I'll make sure to put the link tree in the description below. So make
Okay,
sure you guys, yes, I'm going to put all of Navy's information in the description below. The link tree will be there. We'll have all his links. So make sure you go check them out.
thank
If you
you.
guys happen to reach out to Navy, please just notate on how you found him. It would be much appreciated. Again, thank you, Navy, for
Thank
taking the
you.
time out. And thank you all for listening in. Make sure you guys give us a follow on all social media platforms at Ignite Your Y. That's INGYTE, not with an I. We are on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, we're there. So make sure you give us a follow. Always remember, guys, find your purpose, ignite your why, and I'll holler at you later. Peace.